Welcome everyone to another class on web design. So we'll be talking about introduction to CSS, and we'll be majorly talking about the CSS ID selector and the class selector. So the ID selector uses the ID attribute of an HTML element to select a specific element. The ID of an element is unique within a page. So the ID selector is used to select one unique element. To select an element with a specific ID, write a hashtag or write a hash character followed by the ID of the element. So we're using a comment to give us the title of what we are dealing with. So that's why we put CSS ID selector in the comment there. So we're trying to give an ID to a particular element so that we can style it from the head section. So we are bringing a paragraph and we want to give the paragraph an ID, and the name of the ID is para1. That is the name of the ID. So we close it. So in between we'll put our paragraph. So let's say hello world. So that will be our paragraph. So we're trying to bring another paragraph. So let's say this paragraph is not affected by the style. So we're trying to bring a style. We're trying to style paragraph, but we're only trying to style the one with class. So let's open our work. The one with ID rather. Okay. So this is what we have. Hello world. This paragraph is not affected by the style. We are here to style it, so we'll go to our head section to style it. So we have hello world. This paragraph is not affected by the style. So let's go and style it from our head section. So let's go to our head section. So we are using internal styling. So open your style. In between the style, you call in the ID name. And when you are using calling ID, you use hash. Okay. And we talked about class. Okay, we'll get to class. So use hash for calling an ID name. So and the ID name is para1. So we said hash para1. Then your curly braces. So we're trying to say that the ID with the name para1, you should have a text aligned to be center. The text should be aligned to the center, and the color should be red. So we are only it will only affect the paragraph that has that particular ID. So let's reload. So as you can see, the hello world was affected, but the second one was not affected because we didn't it doesn't have any ID. We only styled ID with para1. So that's why the other one was not affected. So the next thing we'll talk about is let's bring a comment. We'll be talking about CSS class selector. So we talked about ID selector, and for ID we use hash to call the ID name. To call the ID name. But for class is different. The class selector selects HTML elements with a specific class attribute. To select elements with a specific class, write a period character followed by the class name. So a class will use period to call the class, but for ID we use hash. So we are bringing our h1. We are giving the class. The class name is center. So and our h1 will contain red and center as the word. So render center aligned. Red and center aligned heading. Okay, so let's bring let's bring a paragraph. So let's call, we are given the class is center. I want our paragraph to show red and center aligned paragraph. So for h1, our h1 is showing red and center aligned heading. Okay. So h1 class center, red and center aligned heading. P is class is center, red and center aligned. So let's style it from our head section. So for class we use period to call it. So and the period and the class name is center. So period center. So what style are we giving it? So let's say the text align should be center. So let's say the text color should be red. Put a semicolon. So let's reload. So as you can see, red and center aligned is showing in red. Then red and center aligned paragraph is also showing in red. That is because both of them have a class of center. That is why both were affected. So you can also specify that only specific HTML elements should be affected. So let's talk about specific HTML elements should be affected. So since we have h1 to be center, we have h1 class center, we have paragraph class center, but we want to only affect maybe h1 or only paragraph. So let's see how we can do it. So let's say h1, let's give it a class. Let's give it a different class. Let's see. Let's call the class good. You can give it any class you want. So our h1 should display this heading will not be affected. So we do not want to make effect to this h1. So let's see our paragraph. So we're having the same class, right? We want to only have specific elements to be affected. We do not want both ones to be affected. So this paragraph is showing this paragraph will be affected. So how do we style it that only one part will be affected? So this paragraph will be red and center aligned. So they both have good as the class. We want only a specific element to be affected. So let's bring our style. Then in between, so to call a class, so we want paragraph with class good to be affected. So you know we have h1, we have paragraph, but we only want the paragraph. So that's p.good, good, which is the class name. So we say the color should be red, the text align should be center. So let's save. So as you can see, we have this heading will not be affected. It was not affected, but this paragraph will be red and center align was affected. As you can see, it is at the center. So we only made effect to p.good, that is paragraph with a class of good. So as you can see, paragraph class good, that was what was affected. So let's look at something else. So let's style according to another, let's give another class fan. Let's say the class will be fan and large. So let's bring our h1. Let's give it a class of fan. So let's give our h1 to be this heading will not be affected. So why we said style according to fan and large, because we are giving it a class of fan and large. Okay, so that's why I said fan and large. So h1 is this heading will not be affected with a class of fan. Paragraph with a class of fan. This paragraph will be red and center aligned. Okay, so let's bring on that paragraph. Let's give it a class of fan large. Okay, so let's say this paragraph will be red, center aligned. That is because we want to style it in this format. By styling, will make it red and center aligned. Center aligned and in a large font size. So close it. So you save. So we have to style it from our head section. So to style class is period. So that's paragraph.fan. So any paragraph that has fan as its class will be styled. So that's text aligned, center, color is red, so let's style another class. So paragraph dot large, so paragraph and the class of large. So let's say the font size 300%. So the second paragraph we have fan large as a class. Okay, then the first one we have only fan as a class. So I've given a style for the paragraph that has large. Since this three has fan as a class, but only one has large inclusive, so only that one will be styled differently, to be styled according to how we gave it. So let's see it. So the first one we gave was this paragraph will be red and center aligned. Then the second one, the P large, this paragraph will be red, center aligned, and in a large font size. So this paragraph will be red and center aligned. That's one. This paragraph will be red, center aligned, and in a large font size. So we didn't style our heading. We only styled our paragraph, so that's why. So the heading was not affected because we didn't style it. But we styled our P dot fan. We also styled our P dot large. So let's talk about something else. CSS universal selector. So if you want to select every element in the web page, so the universal selector star selects all HTML elements on the page. The CSS rule below will affect every HTML element on the page. So let's see how it's done. So star selects all. Why period is for class, hash is for ID, star is for selecting all on the page. So in case you've not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe, give a comment and like the video. You can also share the video. Thank you very much. So let's give a paragraph. Let's say every element on the page will be affected. Okay, so I'm trying to style everything on the page. So the first thing we said was every element on the page will be affected. That's the paragraph. So we're bringing another paragraph and we're giving an ID. So let's call it para para 2. Let's call it para 2. So we're also saying that this paragraph me too, meaning that the first paragraph and this other paragraph will also be styled. So we're bringing on that paragraph. So and this paragraph is and me. So meaning that this paragraph 1, 2, and 3. Once we use star to select all, it's supposed to make changes to everything there. So let's bring our style. So let's call all our elements using the universal selector, which is star. So let's see. So star actually means everything. So text align. Let's say center. So color. Let's say blue. So let's save. So as you can see, star is for selecting everything. So text aligned. So let's go down and check what we did. So this is what we did. Every element on the page will be affected by the style me too and me too. So the first paragraph is this, second paragraph is this, was affected, third paragraph is this, it was affected also. So that's how to use your universal selector. So the next we'll talk about is we'll talk about CSS grouping, how to group elements. So for example, you want to group paragraph h1, h2, h3 and just give it a unique style. You can just call it all together instead of styling them differently and separately. So let's see how it's done. The grouping selector selects all the HTML elements with the same style definitions. So let's see how we can do that. So let's bring our h3. Let's say h3 is hello world. So let's say h4. So let's say smaller heading is our h4. So let's say h5. So we want to see how we can group these elements instead of styling them separately. We can style them together. So h3, h4, and a paragraph. So this is a paragraph. This is a paragraph. So let's go to our head section and style them together. Instead of styling h3 first, h4 first, then paragraph again. Since we want to give it a unique style, we want to give it the same style. That's why we're grouping it. So we can just call h3, h4, then paragraph. Okay, then your curly braces. So let's say text aligned, let's say center. So we want h3, h4 and p to be center, and we want the color to be red. So h3, h4 and paragraph will be styled with the group styling, group selector. So let's reload and see. So this is what we did. Hello world, smaller heading. This is a paragraph. We're able to use group selector, selecting h3, h4 and paragraph to style them together. So that's all we'll be talking on today's topic. So in case you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, like and give a comment. Tell me the types of videos you want me to upload: CSS, HTML, JavaScript, and whatever one you want again. Thank you very much, and bye for now.